I am 100% convinced about the power of story. Storytelling is a skill that I want to learn. That's why I picked up this book called Stories That Stick by Kindra Hall. Although I have read two other books on storytelling, Storyworthy and Long Story Short, this book is different because it focuses on storytelling from a business point of view. This book will help you to use storytelling to captivate your customers, get a competitive advantage in your sales and marketing efforts, and also to influence your audience, whether they are your employees or potential donors or a potential employer and you are in a job interview. In the business world, most people are inundated with sales pitches, facts and figures, lists and graphs. So when someone starts their presentation with a story, it immediately wakes people up and pulls them in. You have their attention in a way that you could never have otherwise, because stories are way more interesting than raw facts. In addition to getting their attention, if done right, a story can also help to build trust and credibility, which is so important in business. Kindra explains the 4 kinds of essential stories that every business needs to tell: the value story, the founder story, the purpose story, and the customer story. She gives examples of all 4 kinds of stories and also explains when to use which type and also when not to use which type. And in these examples, I like that not only did she give examples of stories done right, but also stories done wrong, which made things very clear for me. One story that I particularly enjoyed reading was how Airbnb was started by 2 college roommates who were struggling to pay their exorbitant rent in San Francisco. At the same time, there was a design conference happening in town, and all the hotels in the conference's suggested list of places to stay were sold out. And when these roommates found out about that, they had a crazy idea. They thought, what if we could rent out our living room to some of the attendees? They would have a place to stay and we could cover our rent with the guests' rent. So they advertised a few air mattresses in their living room, and they got 3 takers, all strangers. These guests had a great time staying with these roommates, and the roommates had a great time hosting them. That's how Airbnb started. This is an example of a founder story. Many people may have heard this story, but very few people know how important storytelling was to Airbnb in its early days when it was struggling to survive because no one wanted to finance them. Because people thought that the idea of strangers hosting strangers was the most stupid idea ever. Another example of the power of storytelling is that if you watched the show Shark Tank, where entrepreneurs pitched their business ideas to potential investors, most of the pitches that succeeded told a story. Towards the end of the book, Kendra guides us in how to find, craft, and tell our own stories. If you're like me, you're probably thinking you don't have any stories, but we all do. They are just hidden in our life events and we need to carve them out. The 4 components of a great story are identifiable characters, a significant moment, authentic emotion, and specific details. With the myriad stories in this book, Kindra breaks down all 4 components to help us understand why a story worked or did not work. For example, a mistake that some businesses make is that they make their product the main character of their commercial. And while this strategy used to work in the past, it is not the best strategy today. This book has inspired me to find out and tell stories from my own life, and I would like to share them with you through my future videos. Let me know in the comments if you would like to hear them. Next week, I will share a story from the last year about making one of the hardest decisions of my life. If you don't want to miss that story, make sure that you subscribe and tap that notification bell. See you then. Keep growing.